And so Bow Down stands for Black Organized Women Developing Other Women Nationally. And I'll get into why I started this program shortly. But the mission statement is to empower, nurture, and strengthen feminism. I'm all about women empowerment, women growth, one woman, one sisterhood at a time. And so this is an organization where right now, I'm solo. I like to keep it that way for quite some time until I find the right people, because it's all about having the right people in place to empower women. It's hard these days to find someone with empathy and compassion and support into young women the way that they need to be. It's no longer a society where it's the grandmas and the neighbors who are looking out for women the way that we need to. And so trying to find people that are passionate has been a struggle. So I'm doing a lot of this work by myself, and so which I don't mind. And so the plan is to create eventually a team that will work alongside me, but I'm going to be very intentional about those people that I select for that. But so a little bit about me. So I'm currently a principal of a Catholic school on the south side of Chicago, and an executive director for a second Catholic school on the southeast side of Chicago. I'm also council chair for principals on the south side of Chicago. I mentor new principals that enter leadership in the Archdiocese of Chicago. I've spent the last 15 years in the Archdiocese. I am actually the principal at the very same school in which I attended as a child. I also sit on the Racial Justice Committee for the Archdiocese of Chicago, which I felt there was some much needed change there. Wherever I see that there's change, I'm always willing to jump in. I have a bachelor's in elementary education from St. Xavier University. I have my master's in curriculum and instruction from St. Xavier as well, and then my doctorate in educational leadership from Concordia.
Go ahead.
I also am a professor at Concordia University, where I teach coursework for those preparing to enter principalship. I am Danielson certified, of course. That is for principals who are evaluating other leaders in the building. I am also a certified life coach. I'm also the founder, of course, of Bow Down, which I'll talk about more in a second, and the founder of Girl Scout Goals, which is for younger women. And I'm also the mother of 7, and so that's also what drove me to start this business of mine. My oldest is 25 and my youngest is 4, so I have a variety of ages there, but a lot of people ask me why I started this, and it all started from my need and what I wanted. A lot of people get into organizations because they see a need and they want to do something. I got into this because I myself needed some of the same things that I'm providing to others. I was that person that got pregnant in high school and was told that my life would be over, and I know that I needed support that I did not get. And then right after that, made another not so wise decision to have another child right after that, and then it just seemed like life was over. And so I just remember wondering where I was going to go from there. What was I going to do? And then not getting the support, not getting the help that I needed. And then I also was in a very abusive marriage for 18 years. So I'm a domestic violence survivor, and there were plenty of times when near-death experiences caused me to be in and out of the hospital. And so I remember praying to God, if you get me out of this situation, God, help me make a better life for myself, my children. I will come back, help those in need, and I'll do a lot of this work by myself free of charge. And so that's how this whole Bow Down began. And so often women need the same thing, and they don't always they're not always receptive from those who, I know what you need, come sit here with these resources, read this book, we can push papers all we want to, we can push books all we want to, but unless you've truly lived it and experienced it, they want to hear from people who have been at rock bottom. They want to hear from people who have a story to tell, who have a testimony, who know what it's like to climb and still climbing. And so I don't say that I have all the answers, because I'm still growing as well. But I know that I have been at rock bottom, and I know I have crawled out of that space and continue making a way. And so I find the most success from those individuals. And so that is what inspired me to begin this organization and continue on this mission myself. Okay, so what services do I provide? Leadership development. So even if women come already with some experience, I provide that. Or there may be women who say, I want to become a leader in some capacity. Provide the development in preparation for that. Mentoring. There are some young ladies who've never had a mentor in life, never had anyone positive, in their life to look for advice. And so, of course, that organizational skills, which should be taught in school or should be taught in the household, maybe they've never experienced that. And even as adults, we need that. Goal setting, and just beyond that too, execution of goals. So we can set goals all we want to, and I know that sometimes we're guilty of that, even as the most organized people. We set all these goals and then they just sit there. What do we do with those goals after that? So also the execution of those. Time management, which I struggle with a lot, and the planning. And then, of course, I'm a certified life coach, so providing those services and just life skills. Today, they're not teaching that a lot in schools anymore. The home ec, simplest, how to care for yourself properly as a young lady, how to sit for an interview, how to be empathetic, things like that. Those things aren't being taught, and especially. We say what people should know. People should know how to be respectful. People should know how to answer questions. But if they've never received love and they've never received that in the household or from a parent or from a teacher. I know when I turn on the news and I hear about teenagers doing things, the first thing that I don't go to the parent, I always say, what teacher failed them? Sometimes it's always, it may not be in a home. It could be inside the classroom. I always go to the classroom first. And so if we're not offering it there, then someone else has to give it to them. And then I do have Girl Scout Goals, which is a program offered to young ladies ages 9 to 15. And so I do have a great group of girls now. And so once they cycle out at the age of 15, they'll transition over to the bow down portion, and then they will also come back and then mentor the girls that are in the Girl Scout Goals.
All right.
Okay, so they'll come back and give to that. So these are just some frequently asked questions that a lot of people ask. Who can become a client? It's just any woman that is in need for any of the services that I provide. And so I always sit down with the individual woman, young lady, to see their needs, as everyone is different. Everyone that may not require all of those things. Maybe someone requires all of those things. So it all is about an intake first. I do group sessions depending on need. Some people do not like group sessions, and that's fine. Some people want a circle of women together. And I have done both. I found that both are successful, individual and group. Group is successful because creating a network of sisterhood is awesome. And so, especially for those that have never had the family dynamics of what does a family look like. And so creating that sisterhood within a circle, sometimes that's needed. Sometimes you have to build the young lady up first to get to that. And so I've done that first. Start individually and then brought them over to the group session. And so that is an option too. Where are sessions conducted? I've done them via Zoom. I've done them in the comfort of their own place. They've picked it in their home, or can you meet me at where I work, or I have a location where they can come to as well. So it all depends. I'm flexible with that as well. Of course, all information is confidential. How long are the sessions? They're usually 45 minutes, but of course, if extra time is needed, I don't mind going over that time. And then how often are the sessions? They're usually once a week. I do have clients that say I need more than once a week in the beginning, because of course situations are different, and sometimes they need more than once a week. And so like I had someone text me on the way here, like, I need you today, and this is not our time to meet. And I said, okay, I'll meet you this evening. And I'll text them during the daytime. They'll text me during the daytime. If they need me, sometimes it's just a simple text that they need. Whatever they need, I tailor it, specifically to them. So I'm here to serve them. They're not here to serve me, and that's the mission and vision that I see for each individual young lady. I do not say this is the program or the plan that I offer, and you have to roll with this. It's what do you need from me?